Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 15th December. So, originally I thought of today, I looked at the news events and I missed Tuesday out and looked straight into Wednesday and saw the flash manufacturing services data. That is actually tomorrow, so we'll look at those tomorrow and the potential from those, but they're probably quite good movers in general terms. However, today we've just got a speaker, Bank of Canada speaker on my calendar here. Everything else has no significance in terms of news and likelihood of moving the markets. Of course, the exception to that being anything that comes from Brexit, but let's just look at the markets as they stand then. Technically, the euro has double topped here. So we've got a double top on the euro and with divergence on that, so we may see a bit more of a correction from that. It's had its chances up here. There were plenty of buy orders sitting above those sort of levels, and well, it's gradually been chipping the previous buy orders off or whatever, but I'm sure there will be others piling in behind this now as traders start getting towards the short side of things. Where do we sit at the moment? Well, we've got consolidation over the Asian session. Now, my preference is still to be looking towards this weekly pivot at some stage, and maybe post 8 o'clock. You see there's a trend line across the lows here. That trend line break of that may give us that move down to the weekly pivot, so there's a potential. Now, of course, it's held up and it's been consolidated all this week, so maybe it will just do that. But just looking at the price action, the shorter term price action, it's put a lower high in on this sort of little price point here. Very messy movement from yesterday. Solid sell off there at 3 o'clock, really came quickly. Not too bad a bounce following that, but as I say, it does for me at the moment look soft for that divergence across the higher time frame. The pound is pushing up like a good one yesterday, then sold off again at 3 o'clock-ish time. We saw this sort of move back, actually midday on here, but it was actually 3 o'clock that it actually started selling off. Managed to eventually break this trend line that was there. Looked pretty good at one stage for a continuation, but of course no news from Brexit, and we've got this consolidation as with less of a bounce. Whereas the euro took quite a bounce up from that sell-off that came through there, we've seen less of a bounce. Still got this gap unfilled below. We've got the weekly pivot below, and there is potential that this could drop down further. So as I say, more potential for further downside there. The yen, of course, the thing that would stop that further downside, of course, is some sort of Brexit deal, and there is rumours that they're getting closer to something, but there we are. So any trades on the pound may be smaller positions, maybe. Okay, the the dollar yen. Dollar yen's really been following this route south, although yesterday when it did break through the lows there, taking out maybe any buy stops below, sell stops below even, it did catch a bounce, but again that was around that sort of 3 o'clock zone when it really came back into its weekly pivot at the moment and selling from that, but it has put a little higher low in here. I'm a bit sort of suspicious of this move. It's sort of there, a break back up above there could see us pushing up for the on this yen. It does err on the soft side here. Okay, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar daily wise, again new highs yesterday, new annual highs. It's really had a decent move over the last couple of months, really. Well, particularly through November, it had the best moves there. Where to? Well, it's a bit of softening, of course, and if you could look on this 4 hourly, it sort of shows that double top and the divergence over the 4 hourlies there. Weekly pivot below, well, still potential. It is one of the strongest, but maybe looking from this 60-minute chart, if we see a bit of a breakdown this morning, there could be the target down towards that weekly pivot. So just looking at that at this stage on the Aussie, Canadian dollar, let's just go out to the dailies here. Much more of a mess, consolidation. Look, we've got these sort of side by side bars. We saw this last week and we're seeing it again. It's just consolidation. There is a Bank of Canada speaker presenting this afternoon. Maybe that could stir something up for the Canadian dollar, but at this stage it's okay. Consolidation around the lows, you normally get a bit of a continuation. We could see the same sort of thing that we saw last week here. Not really too clear at the moment, and when you look at the picture as you come down the time frames and look at the more detail that was sort of sitting there, yes, yesterday it broke the trend line, it ran off there, didn't get really too much lower, it ran into the prior lows there and was found the bid, and then again at 3 o'clock we saw that sort of push and the strength of the US dollar coming through, or some strength from the US dollar, bearing in mind it's been absolutely hammered lately. Looking at where we are here, it's looking to set up to give another push up, but indecisive market for me, and I'll just stand aside of that. So let's have a look at the equity side of things. So equity side of things, let's look at the dailies first, and well, we did see a decent push up yesterday, not into new highs, but it certainly had an initial decent push up there, but sold off, and we saw this selling off continue right the way through the afternoon there. It's filled the gap that was there through the Asian session, and well, currently it still looks these current moves don't seem to be holding on too well. We'll see today. It's got a divergence across the lows here, but well, it's almost triggered that to the upside. It has the daily pivot upside, which may be a draw, and if there was any deal sort of eventually agreed on in the US, we could see them rally further, but the lack of clarity around that seems not particularly good there. So that's the S&Ps, and let's have a quick look at oil. OPEC cut forecasts yesterday. Didn't really show up too much in the price of oil. Cut 1 billion barrels per day cut in forecast, but we still managed to see a late surge come through there. But the damage is done in a way technically here on this 4 hourly. We put a lower high in, and maybe there's more downside potential there. So it's just looking with the lower high, as I say, with the lower high there, we may get a bit more correction to the downside today. That's pretty much it for me. If there's any questions, fire away. Otherwise, I will catch you tomorrow, and wish you a great day. Bye for now.